Hello and welcome to Instablog's Global Report. This is Sukhmani with fresh updates and more citizen voices from all over the world. Stories for the day are: India Incorporation welcomes the constitution of Satyam board. Mexican drug cartels use African ports to smuggle drugs to Europe. Sectarian clashes erupt in northwest frontier province town of Hangu in Pakistan. And 2 million Kenyans face imminent starvation due to crop failure. Corporate analysts have expressed relief following the reconstitution of scam-ridden Satyam Computer Services Board. CJ Samli from India considers the construction of new board as the beginning of a new chapter in the company's history.
This is Samli, citizen journalist from India, reporting for Instablogs. This is a vital stabilizing development for Satyam, and it marks the beginning of a new chapter in the company's history. The reconstitution of the board will help ensure business continuity, build confidence, and protect the interest of all stakeholders, employees, customers, and investors. The decision to appoint HDFC Chairman Deepak Parekh, the former Nasscom President Kiran Karnik, and the former SEBI member C. Achutan as a three-member board will restore confidence of global investors in India Inc., especially after this unprecedented financial fraud in India's corporate history. Having taken charge of the troubled company, the government's priority should be to ensure that the Satyam board immediately arranges financing to ensure that salaries and payrolls of the 50,000 plus employees are met without disruption.
According to the United Nations, the Mexican drug cartels are increasingly using the African Atlantic coastline to smuggle drugs into Europe. CG Oscar Estrada believes that the directional shift in drug trade is a result of crackdown on drug cartels back home in Mexico.
This is Oscar Villanueva, citizen journalist reporting from Mexico. Violent Mexican cartel that have killed thousands in a drug war at home this year are increasingly smuggling drugs to Europe by the way of Africa. A 15-month international drug sweep called Project Reckoning captured 500 drug cartel collaborators in the United States, Mexico, and Italy. Given the pressure from the Calderon government, we are seeing some of the Mexican groups seeking alliances with Europeans. According to the United Nations, the poor and weak states of West Africa make an ideal base for operations for international drug traffickers. Interpol says Mexican drug cartels could be using Africa, Atlantic seaboard for transport or storage purposes.
Dozens of people have been killed in the northwest frontier province town of Hangu following the eruption of sectarian clashes between Shia and Sunni sect. Our CJ from Pakistan demands immediate reconciliation between the people from both the sects.
It has been more than 10 years now that Hangu is suffering from a continual eruption of sectarian violence. Hundreds of people have been killed and are injured from both sides, Shia and Sunni, during these clashes. Nowruz, celebrated on 21st March, and Ashura, that is observed on the 10th of Muharram, are particularly sensitive times in this regard. The main reason behind the recurrence of sectarian violence is the lack of negotiations for long-term peace in the area. Military curfew is enforced each time violence erupts, but soon after that tragedy, people and the government forget about improving the ties between Shia and Sunni communities. The fresh outbreak of sectarian violence reminds us of the need for honest and effective reconciliation between the Shia and Sunni sects, especially in these troubled times when terrorist elements are there to take advantage of such tensions for their malign designs.
Nearly 2 million Kenyans face imminent starvation following crop failure in parts of eastern and Rift Valley provinces in the country. CJ Rose Wangui from Kenya feels that crop failure and rising food prices only aggravate the problem in Kenya, for people have been forced to live upon wild tubers or else migrate.
This is Rose Wangui, a citizen journalist from Kenya, reporting on Instablogs. Nearly 2 million Kenyans face imminent starvation following crop failure in parts of eastern and Rift Valley provinces. In Eastern Province, maize and beans crops have withered due to a long dry spell, while in Rift Valley Province, the shortage has been attributed to the delayed effects of the post-election violence, which caused delays in planting last year. About a quarter of the 6 million people in the region have been affected, making demand for relief food to shoot up. Food prices continue to rise across the country, and as is expected since Rift Valley Province, the country's bread basket will not be able to produce enough to feed the nation, since farmers in the region were heavily affected during the post-poll violence early last year.
If you want your voice to be heard by millions, let Instablogs be your choice. You can contact us at cj@instablogs.com. That's all for today's show. We'll be back with fresh updates and more citizen voices. Till then, it's goodbye from the entire team of Global Report.